Do you sometimes wonder why certain people seem to be so easily influenced? Think on the truth that elements outside of oneself shape their ideas and behavior. Under the belief that they can light the road for others, they live as if they are being dragged in an invisible direction. Still, people are drawn to the very things that consume them without even recognizing it. Actually, they are the moth, but they present themselves as the flame. This belief of one's strength hides a deep truth, a lack of self-awareness, and a distance from actual spiritual progress. Today's class will explore this dynamic in order to unveil the hidden layers of the mind, to discuss what it means to be caught in this cycle, and to show how self-love and spiritual development could spell breakthrough. Right now, every one of us is going through a phase of enormous transition where we must let go of the past to welcome a better level of awareness. Many call this period the eye of the needle phenomenon. This metamorphosis is a real-world experience that affects your ideas, actions, and emotional reactions in your daily life rather than only a spiritual one. Though at first you can feel that the environment you live in is chaotic, in fact, this turbulence is exactly guiding you toward a more evolved state of being right now. Through this little portal, you are entering a new realm of understanding and not only helping to participate in the process of change, you are the change itself. The development of this process could make you conscious of the fact that past ideas, doubts, and worries seem to reappear with a wrath. These events are not haphazard. The development of these echoes reflects the unresolved elements of your history that demand recognition and treatment. Your ego's last resort to keep you from entering a higher frequency is this antiquated belief system. Commonly observed is the inclination of the mind to hang to what it knows. This is the reason we could develop doubts and gloomy ideas stronger than they have ever been. They are trying to help you get insight and learn more about yourself, not here to knock you down. This specific moment reminds us strongly that true self-love does not entail a condition of not feeling influenced by the highs and lows life presents. What counts is that, in spite of the madness all around you, you keep constant in your identity. Loving oneself is easy when everything is going well nevertheless. The real test is whether or not that love can withstand hardship without wavering. Many people find themselves caught in the trap of looking to others' people, prosperity, or fleeting moments of pleasure for approval. This is the place one finds temptation to search for validation. Conversely, these transient affirmations will never be able to replace the strong basis of self-love derived from inside. The idea that what you feel on a personal level also reflects the larger global human experience is closely related with the trip you are now on. Old wounds are not only yours to deal with when they resurfaced. They speak to the communal psyche in some manner. This suggests that the growth of everyone else in your near surroundings is closely connected to your own development. By facing your fears, doubts, and prior loss, you not only are mending yourself but also helping the collective spirit to be elevated. Understanding this relationship helps one to more clearly grasp the reason the world seems to be in a state of turbulence. On a global level, each of our individual struggles magnify themselves and become a mirror through which mankind as a whole faces its most serious weaknesses. We are called to step outside our comfort zones, rethink what it is to love ourselves without conditions, and realize that this voyage is a call to action much more profound than the chase of worldly ambitions. Under this perspective, self-love becomes an act of rebellion against the norms that society has set upon us. This is a counterpoint to the belief that your value depends on things like appearance, productivity, or degree of accomplishment. You are releasing these old ideas as you negotiate this eye of the needle, therefore freeing space for a version of yourself grounded on authenticity. This modification is meant to help one not to turn into another person. The aim of this is to find your true nature, always meant to be. Although your road of self-discovery may at times make you feel alone, always bear in mind that you are never totally alone. Each single person experiencing this transformation is connected by an invisible thread, and every one of us is personally accountable for helping to reawaken the collective consciousness. When you are in these times of self-reflection and bravery, you start to understand the power of unity, the need of your inner light, and the enormous influence you have on the surroundings. Benevolent truth lurks under the surface of your interactions with one another. Those around you see your brightness and power, and they respect you more than they would ever be ready to confess. Conversely, this admiration may not always show up as support or appreciation. Quite the reverse. It usually shows up as silence, distance, or even judgment. The truth is that they find something about you that makes them uncomfortable. This forces people to face the facets of their life where they lack the same degree of inner peace and self-assurance. One can understand the paradox of magnetism as follows. They are drawn to your light, but it also shadows their own vulnerabilities which they are trying to hide. Your energy is more potent than any words could possibly express as soon as you walk into a room. It tells a tale of tenacity and of a road of self-discovery that has led to a great love for oneself. Other people may see this even if they may not completely understand it, it will set off something within of them. Although they might never tell you straight, the simple fact that you are here reminds me of what they have not yet achieved personally. Envy permeates this quiet respect, a mirror of the inner conflicts they are going through. Your love for yourself acts as a mirror reflecting back to other people their own unhealed wounds, concerns, and areas of life where they have settled for less than they deserve. They might not know, for example, that what worries them is the difficulty of facing their own limitations rather than you. Those people who have not yet started their own road of self-awareness could so feel intimidated under your presence. People respect you since you have evolved whatever others are too afraid to face within themselves. Though they hide it, they yearn for the same bravery you possess, that which will enable them to face their own demons and the will to fiercely love themselves despite their imperfections. Still, they prefer to project their fears onto others rather than own them. In an attempt to reduce the impact you have on them, they could act dismissively, aloofly, or even critical. You should not allow their behavior, nevertheless, fool you. These protective mechanisms, which are really a mask, are hiding a great respect for your strength. The truth is that your magnetism challenges rather than only draws attention to itself. The jolting energy in the room causes the buried depths of those around to stir. It forces them to look honestly at the facets of themselves they have been overlooking. Whether or not they would like it, you start to drive their growth. Your love of yourself is a force that permeates everyone you come into touch with, not only a victory of your own personal life. They would not be able to ignore you even if they try. Unquestionably, your energy has a gravitational power that attracts individuals in spite of their greatest attempts to reject their attraction. Although they might never say it aloud, the truth is that they wish they had what you have, a love that is so pure and consistent it doesn't waver in the face of the challenges life offers. Your road pays a quiet homage to what is achievable when one has the bravery to gaze far ahead and embrace oneself as they are really. Thus, keep in mind that their lack of reaction, their remoteness, and even their criticism do not point to rejection. These are signs that you have been able to access something deep inside them, something they were not ready to face. Your light is not just a lighthouse of self-love, but also a screen for others to wake to their own power, challenge their own reality, and at last begin their road toward wholeness. Conversely, the fact is far more fundamental. Unlike fairy tales, twin flames and karmic relationships are not designed to have happy outcomes. Beneath the surface, these are deep spiritual exercises. These conversations will allow you to revive your spirit, face your most deep scars, and challenge you to grow past what you had thought was possible. Stated differently, they are mirrors reflecting your own anxieties, your unresolved sorrow, and the areas where you are still working on loving yourself. It is easy to get caught in the trap of thinking that the existence of another person in your life determines your value when you are engaged in this spiritual game of energy. The truth is, though, these relationships are not about getting validation from other people. They are meant to push you so that you could wake up inside. Their goal is to let you realize that you have always possessed the love you are seeking, simply waiting to be discovered. The energy you give another person reflects the reality that you must love yourself more completely, not a confirmation of your worth. Participating in these interactions without knowing their true intent runs the danger of you becoming caught in a cycle of dependent on unsatisfied expectations. There is no fighting this spiritual conflict on a physically concrete battlefield. You are fighting deep inside your own self. The difficulty is releasing yourself from the desire to get acceptance, from the anxiety that you are not enough, from the dormant strength you possess. That is the fight you have to undertake. You have to face the beliefs that have imprisoned you illusions about love, value, and what you deserve among others. This inner battle motivates you to clear these delusions. Relationships with karmic force push you to the brink of your capacity and challenge you to review all you thought you knew about yourself. But the act of confronting and demolishing long-held beliefs inside of you will help you to find your release. By now, you are starting to see that the most important relationship you will ever have is that one with yourself. Once you know these energetic dynamics, the emphasis moves from the need of depending on other people to justify your existence to the awareness that your progress is fully based on your own love for yourself. You will be able to enter your actual power once you have stopped looking to the outside world for validation of your value. You now see other individuals as mirrors of your own inner condition rather than as the source of your happiness. At this moment, the spiritual strife turns into spiritual emancipation. Your energy changes into a shield you may deploy to guard yourself from the negative effects of others who keep operating from a place of anxiety and insecurity when you stop fighting against yourself and start fighting for yourself. You get immune to the manipulative techniques meant to change you in confidence as you are really anchored in the truth of who you are. A change in awareness is a message to the universe that you will no more tolerate anything less than the best form of yourself, not only a personal success. This change of consciousness marks your triumph. Spiritual development does not aim for you to find someone to light your road. The secret is to turn into the lighthouse guiding you. Overcoming this is mostly dependent on realizing that the darkness you are inside is the one you fight, not the world outside. The more you concentrate your attention inward, the more brilliant that light becomes and the more important the influence you have not only on your own life, but on the life of every person you come into touch with. Reciting positive affirmations or following self-care practices are not enough to show real love for oneself. This road tests you to face the most deep sides of your soul, the sides you usually wish to keep secret about yourself. In addition to being ready to look in the mirror, you need also be ready to identify the weaknesses and fears that underlie the surface of the image you present to the world. The real work starts here as you start to remove the layers of training, ideas, and fears that have molded your identity over years. Your journey is never ending and the layers seem to be endless. Hence, as you keep exploring, you may have times of doubt along the road. The process naturally and essential consists in these dark times. They suggest that you are working on the basic hurts that call for healing. You can run upon memories from your past that you have suppressed, unresolved emotions that resurfaced, or anxiety that seems illogical yet have roots in events you have long since forgotten. You are not having a setback, rather, you are approaching your true self by means of a breakthrough hidden under disguise. This trip will compel you to doubt your own conception of what is value and worth. Originally designed to evaluate yourself, the benchmark success, attractiveness, or social validation are all illusions created by a society that gains from your anxiety. As you develop awareness of yourself, you start to see this. Genuine self-love is the process of seeing the value in your life not because of your appearance or behavior, but rather because of the person you are at very fundamental. Success depends on you standing in front of all your scars and flaws and embracing them as necessary elements of your story. You start to develop a more higher consciousness as you start to contact these several sides of yourself. This condition of being entails not only a mental change, but also a change of your energy and a raising of your spirit to correspond with a higher frequency inside you. At this stage, you let go of the need to impose control over every aspect of your life and instead permit the divine flow of existence to rule. Surrendering is the idea of having trust that the universe has a more amazing plan for you than anything you could possibly dream of, not of giving up. Higher consciousness will teach you that realizing fulfillment is an inward process. You will discover that you require less outer world approval if you are more in sync with your inner self. How other people view you or what they believe of the trip you are embarking on loses relevance to you. Your sense of value is not based on compliments or appreciation from others anymore. The basis of this is the calm assurance that results from knowing you are sufficient in your present condition. Self-love has great power since it helps one to discover serenity inside oneself independent of the outside tempest. Furthermore, when you reach this higher level, you start to see the fear-based illusions that had before imprisoned you. When you consider that fear stems from a story you no longer believe in, it loses its grip on you. All of your worries, including those of not being good enough, failing, and being judged, disappear when you are firmly in the truth of who you are. You begin to see over time that the only real restrictions are those you set upon yourself. The beauty of internal development rests in exactly this feature. It is not about assuming another person. This revolves on being worthless of everything except you. It is the process of shedding the layers of doubt and insecurity that have collected over time until you are left with just the most true form of yourself. Eventually, as you keep removing these layers, you will find the divine love and strength constantly waiting to surface inside you. This is the foundation upon which actual development in one's spiritual life is built. A transformation that is inevitable will start to occur when you come to know your real self. You start to separate from the energetic connections that used to hold back you. The ties you discover yourself linked to are the invisible threads binding you to people, events, and habits no longer serving your larger good. These are the vestiges of a life lived under uncertainty and anxiety. As you advance in your consciousness, you will find they are progressively vanishing. Conversely, this is a liberation of your soul from the weight that had weighed it down. It is not a loss at all. You could first feel confused the instant you cut off these energy. The ground under you seems to have shifted, and the individuals who used to be the most significant persons in your life now seem to be far off or unidentifiable. This results from the change in your vibrational frequency from what it was prior. Your efforts to increase your energy have caused you to lose resonance in the same people or circumstances that once fed off of your anxieties. Though there are many powerful aspects of this journey, one of the most crucial is releasing misleading influences. These elements usually show up as relationships or situations that drain your vitality and leave you stuck in self-doubt and neediness. You will begin to see these effects for what they truly are: distractions from the force emanating from within you as you get more cut off from them. You now see that their impact over you was really a front. It was only as strong as your conviction on the limitations you set on yourself. This change in energy also provides the manifestations you are working on additional degrees of clarity. Once difficult or outside your reach, something is now something you find simple. You are no longer looking for people or materials to fill the hole within of you. You attract plenty when you are in line with your own self and greater mission. This is so because you are choosing wisely. Your energy is no more distributed or urgent, as though. Its execution is deliberate, strong, and focused. Manifesting from this place is different since it is not driven by a lack of resources or a fear. Its motivating factors include a sense of fullness and confidence. You no more show up from a place of attempting to prove you are deserving of it or seeking acceptance. Alternatively, you build from a point of happiness, love, and pure desire to widen the range of your life events. This is the spot where real magic happens. This is the place the universe aligns with your aims and, practically automatically, brings your dreams to life. Your reality will start to shift in major respects as you keep trying to love and accept yourself. People who mirror your newly acquired strength and who support your path instead of those seeking to keep you back start to draw you. Your increased state of being starts to match the situation you find yourself in, and life itself begins to mirror the change you are experiencing inside you. The limitations of your past or the expectations of other people no longer define you. This disengagement from lower energies is a realignment of the energy of the universe as much as a win for the person. Right now, you are reclaiming your authority, entering your truth, and releasing yourself from the unseen chains that once bound you captive. Rising above the din of the world and reaching into the frequency of your soul is the essence of spiritual growth. This sums up spiritual development. Consider the transformation of your path as comparable to the way a butterfly comes out of its cocoon. Trapped by your antiquated ideas, fears, and limited scope, you were buried in darkness for a good length of time. Your comfort zone was the cocoon, a place where you felt safe but which finally prevented you from realizing your best potential. Now that you have broken free, you are into the light, into the most real version of yourself, and into the complete manifestation of your existence. The metamorphosis in progress transcends mere conversion into something else. The central focus of this technique is realizing the divine feminine energy you have always carried about. For this energy, neither gender is a limiting consideration. This force exists everywhere and covers imagination, intuition, and the ability to grow. Apart from guiding you towards a more deep understanding of love, it is the fundamental nature of life itself. Thanks for tuning in to the God Connection channel, where we're all about unlocking your true potential and spiritual growth. If you're serious about leveling up your life and discovering deeper wisdom, make sure you don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications now, because we're dropping life-changing content you won't find anywhere else. Don't be the one left behind on your spiritual journey. Join the community today. And stay blessed, and see you in the next video.